This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Police are investigating a double shooting near the North St. Louis riverfront that left one person dead tonight. Witnesses tell us about the frightening scene and the moments that led up to the deadly attack. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. This happened just before 10 o'clock this morning on Dock Street in North St. Louis. That's not too far from the McKinley Bridge. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer is live at police headquarters with the latest on all this. Diamond?
Well, Mike and Kelly, witnesses describe the shooting as scary. They say they heard at least 6 shots ring out. And in addition to the man who died today, another one was taken to the hospital. And tonight we're learning his injuries are critical and life-threatening.
Just before 10 a.m. Wednesday, Christina Lee says she heard gunshot after gunshot.
It was just, real close together, just pop, 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 pop.
The shooting happened at the corner of Dock and 9th Street. It's near the St. Louis Empowerment Center, which helps people address mental health and substance use disorders. Lee says she heard at least 6 shots.
I immediately looked out the window and seen the silver SUV crash and the passenger getting out. He had been shot and staggering.
Lee called police, but she says what happened next was even scarier.
Then the driver pulled him out of the car, and the driver took off and actually ran over his legs as they were escaping.
St. Louis Metro Police Department confirmed one person was pronounced dead at the scene and another man was taken to the hospital with critical and life-threatening injuries. During a Wednesday briefing, police addressed the silver SUV, which took off from the scene at the same time of the shooting.
Officers did spot that vehicle in the area of 70 and Salisbury. They did attempt to stop that vehicle, and there was a pursuit of that vehicle that ultimately ended in the area of Grand and Kossuth, where the driver of that vehicle was detained.
Police say a 36-year-old man was taken into custody. Meanwhile, Lee says there needs to be a solution to stop the city's violence.
I don't know what can solve it, what can help, but something has to be done because you never know if you're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Now, another witness who witnessed this shooting today describes it as chaotic. He says that he actually says there was an altercation that happened before the shooting, and he was able to capture everything on his truck's dash cam. Tonight, he has handed over that footage to police for this ongoing investigation. Reporting live here at St. Louis Police Headquarters, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
Tonight, 2 people are recovering in the hospital after a stabbing in Lincoln County. It happened this morning at Daddy Ray's Baking Company in Moscow Mills. When our crew arrived on the scene, they saw a car crash in the parking lot. Officials still haven't confirmed if that is connected to the stabbings. What the sheriff's office is telling us is that this all started as an argument between a man and woman who are related. The man stabbed the woman, and when an employee tried to intervene, that person also got stabbed.
They're all being treated at area hospitals. I've spoken to the female victim and her family, and they're encouraged by her progress.
The suspect is now in custody. The sheriff has not said if the woman or the suspect work at the bakery.
Police are trying to figure out how and when 2 people died in a home in Baldwin. The bodies were found at the home on Sunny Slope Drive yesterday afternoon. The mail carrier asked police to check the home after noticing the mailbox was full. In the home, officers found 2 bodies. The medical examiner tells us no one can identify the bodies because they are so badly decomposed. So far, the deaths do not seem suspicious.
St. Louis police say a man shot and killed himself while federal agents were serving a warrant. This happened around 7:30 this morning on Iowa Street near Chippewa. U.S. Marshals were serving a federal warrant at a home when they heard a gunshot from inside. Police have not identified the man who died.
A woman is dead after a crash on Interstate 70. It happened around noon near Wentzville. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a semi driver changed lanes, hitting the car. The passenger in that car, 61-year-old Christine Schneider, died. The interstate reopened just over an hour ago.
Today was supposed to be the beginning of an impeachment trial for Iron County Sheriff Jeff Burkett. He was charged last year with multiple crimes, including kidnapping, as part of a response to a domestic call. But before the impeachment proceedings could get started today, the sheriff resigned.
Christine Byers sat down with the sheriff's attorney, who says this was nothing more than a strategic move, even though the attorney general says otherwise. Christine.
Mike and Kelly, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey issued a press release just hours ago taking a victory lap, taking credit for the sheriff's resignation. But Burkett's attorney says his client and the resignation was planned and ensures that he can someday run for office again. Almost a year ago now, Jeff Burkett, along with 2 of his deputies, were charged with multiple crimes, including street gang activities and kidnapping. Washington County prosecutors allege they were helping an influential resident kidnap his children from their mother. In June, Attorney General Andrew Bailey filed a lawsuit to remove Burkett from office. In a statement today, Bailey wrote, quote, "He resigned because he knew we were going to win at trial this week." Burkett's attorney, Gabe Crocker, says that's not why he resigned.
If he were to be removed, then he can't run for sheriff again. And I can tell you right now that my client hasn't ruled out the possibility of not only running for sheriff again, but possibly running against one of the commissioners in Iron County.
Now, the criminal case involving Burkett is still ongoing, but Crocker says several of the charges against his client have already been dismissed. To read the Attorney General's full statement, check out my story in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Thank you, Christine. There is a new trial date in Janae Edmondson's civil lawsuit against St. Louis. Edmondson is the teen who lost both of her legs when a driver crashed into her last year. The driver, Daniel Riley, was supposed to be on house arrest. Edmondson is suing the city, Riley and others, saying a yield sign was not appropriate for the intersection. The jury trial was supposed to start this March. Today, a judge moved it to March of next year.
Mayor Tashara Jones says she wants to see the city of St. Louis hire about 300 more police officers.
Local leaders expressed concern over the police department's current staffing levels. Now, a political fight could make matters worse. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here with new details on the city's earnings tax.
Yeah, it's a new political fight brewing once again in Jefferson City. Republicans want to ban the city's earnings tax, but that would blow a big hole in the city budget. And the biggest expense in the city budget is police officers. Mayor Jones had plans to travel to Jefferson City yesterday and try to lobby against those efforts, but canceled them when the Senate got stymied in a filibuster there. The issue followed her downtown today when local leaders met at this East-West Gateway Council of Governments meeting to talk about crime and public safety. St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman pressed Chief Robert Tracy on his staffing levels and expressed concerns about the depleted department's ability to patrol the city streets. At the same time, Ellman said perhaps people who live in the city should be allowed to spend their share of the earnings tax on private security, or maybe they shouldn't have to pay it.
These people right now pay an earnings tax, and they also pay all their other taxes, but yet they're not getting the security that they need in their neighborhood.
Any plans to slash the earnings tax without a plan to replace that revenue is reckless. It's reckless for our citizens and it's reckless for our region.
The chief said St. Louis has 940 officers in the department. We're working to verify that number. It may be lower. Still about 300 shy of the budgeted positions available. The mayor said she supports filling every one of those empty positions, but finding those cadets and hiring them proving to be a tall order so far.
Senators tackle social media, what Facebook's executives had to say about his company's impact on children.
As St. Louis deals with water main breaks this year, our Verify team crunches the numbers from years past.
And we have had some wild weather swings over the course of the last 2.5 weeks. There's another one coming tomorrow. Talking about a big warm up and rain chances for the weekend. See you in a few minutes.